Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to quickly take you through some of the factors that I look for when renting an apartment. So I've been renting for a few years now and I rent in Mumbai. So that's something to keep in mind. Obviously every place is different and everyone's deal breakers are different, but here are some of mine and I hope they help you. Okay, so the first thing that I look for is definitely the location. So is it close to work? Is it close to transport? Is public transportation easily available? Is it a quiet area? Does it flood in the monsoon? These are things that I look for when I look for the location. The second factor that I look for is definitely price. So what is the landlord expecting for the rent? Is it negotiable? Is there brokerage involved? So brokerage is supposed to be a one-time payment, but depending on the broker, you could be paying a token amount every year. That would add to the cost, so definitely look into that. Also, the next thing that I would definitely look for is whether it's furnished or unfurnished. So personally, I prefer unfurnished apartments, but everyone's different. So some people prefer semi-furnished, some people prefer fully furnished, so that really makes a difference. The next thing that I look for is security and safety. So that's like a huge deal breaker for me. If the apartment is near a dingy area, there are slums outside, how safe is it to live there? That's definitely topmost priority for me. The next thing that I look for is easy availability of basic essentials. So does it have a good water supply? Do you need a tank? Is there pipe gas? Or do you need to get a cylinder? All these things really matter, and in the long run you will regret not considering these if you jump into something without that. Another thing that I really look for when I look for a rented apartment is the proximity of the building to all the essentials. So if it's very isolated, very quiet, but then it's very far to shops, to chemists, to groceries, again, keep that in mind. It really matters. Now in Mumbai, at least, there are certain things that you would need to consider in addition. For instance, during the monsoon, does it flood? Is it a high area, high ground, or is it a low-lying area? That really makes a difference, because traveling in the rains and having floods and so on is a real threat during the heavy showers and so on. So do keep that in mind. So one tip that I find that might help you guys is that if you maintain an Excel sheet. So when searching for an apartment, you see so many, and then it's difficult to remember, in house 4 how much was the deposit, or house 7, well, was there pipe gas or cylinder? I don't remember, right? So make an Excel sheet with all these things and roughly note down, so that way you can kind of filter it out and make a decision quickly. The last point that I look for is a few aesthetics. All right, so these are things that I would consider based on my family's preference or my preference. So for instance, I know my husband loves a little feel of nature. I mean, though we live in an urban jungle, he would like a little tree somewhere inside, or a few birds chirping. That really makes him happy. So I look for those kind of factors to make him happy. For me personally, I have a weakness for a large kitchen. So I like a little space to put my microwave and my oven and my stove top and all my masalas and all of that. So I'm a little partial to big kitchen. We both love well aerated apartments, so that's definitely something that I look for. But these are not deal breakers. Okay, so if I find an apartment with all the other factors ticked, like location, price, security, proximity to work and so on, then maybe I would proximity to work and so on, then maybe I would compromise a bit. So kind of looking so that you're not totally confused while making a decision. So these are a few of my best tips and tricks, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you find it useful.